Hello and welcome to this R Squared Studio special video with me, Paul Dalton.
And me, Tom Quayle.
And this is one of what we hope is going to be an ongoing series, our top 10 lists. We know already, top 10s are everywhere on YouTube, but they're fun, people like lists, and I don't think this is a list that's been done before to kick things off.
Yeah. So I turned around and said, what about UK and Irish born comedians?
Yeah, exclusively UK and Irish born comedians. And the reason we say born is because it gets rid of a couple of grey areas, shall we say. So, for example, Eddie Izzard, who we both wanted to include in our list, wasn't born in the UK or Ireland. He's raised British, but he was born in Yemen, so not on this list. So that's just one thing. We love Eddie Izzard, but it doesn't meet the criteria. If it was just because when you say UK or Irish, were they born here, were they raised here? Had to be born here. That's the stipulation.
Yeah. The rules are they have to have been born in the UK or Ireland. They have to have toured at least the UK, and they have to be a solo act.
Yeah. So no
Eric Morecambe's, no Roddy Corbett's.
Yeah, exactly. No Hugh Dennis.
Yeah.
You know, things like that. You know, three of our favourites, but you know, no solo tours. So, right. We each made a list. How was it going to work? We each made a list of 10 because we thought we'd do a top 10. So we thought, think of 10 each and compare the list. We had 7 that matched each other. Okay, so whether that means these are all really good or we've got a very similar sense of humour, maybe a lot from column A, a lot from column B. So it's got these aren't in any particular order right now anyway. So going down the list, the ones that we both had, we had Ed Byrne, we had Darrow. Actually, we'll go a little bit into Ed Byrne, Irish comedian. He's been known for doing Live at the Apollo and guest appearing on things like Mock the Week. Darragh O'Brien, of course, the host of Mock the Week and Live at the Apollo as well. And these have all done their own solo tours as well. Billy Connolly needs no introduction.
Yeah.
He's Billy Connolly.
Just he's Billy Connolly, yeah.
Almost in the same boat, Lee Evans doesn't really need much of an introduction. Dave Gorman, we both had, who's slightly lesser known, but he's not a traditional stand-up. He does stuff on stage that you wouldn't expect a comedian to do, like a PowerPoint presentation, which is weird, but the way it factors into his act so much, and everything goes, because every comedian has a routine, but the way he goes and the timing on it is so perfect that he knows exactly what slide's coming up and when to hit the button for it to have the maximum impact.
Yeah. And I think the reason I put it is I'm very similar to Dave Gorman. He'll get animated and irritated about little tiny things, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, exactly. He just loses his shit.
Why do you need 23 potato peelers?
Yeah. Watch Modern Life is Good.
New series starting next Tuesday.
Yeah, on Dave Gorman's Modern Life is Good-ish. Fantastic. Rounding off the list, Bill Bailey. Don't need to say much about Bill Bailey. Musical comedian. And Ross Noble. Geordie comedian. And a bit of the surreal humour.
And again, more out the box thinking. Actually did a full TV show where it was dictated what people told him to do on Twitter.
Yeah.
So
the entire content of the show was determined by people tweeting at him. You know, I'm at a boring staff meeting. Come live in the mood and tweeting the postcode. Well, right, I think I'll go do that. And then got his motorbike and away at this staff meeting, and then took over the staff meeting.
He took a plant to Eddie Izzard.
Yeah. And stuff like that. You know, went and bought a ceramic dog and then got it painted.
Yeah.
They put on a ceramic pet show. You know, in a car park at McDonald's or something. It was so that's the 7 that we share.
So they're definitely in.
They're definitely in our top 10. We haven't ordered them yet. However, the 3, and the reason we're doing it this way, we can argue the toss either way about the other 3 that we had on the list. So I'm going to say, would you like to go first with one of yours who you'd like to nominate as in top 10?
Dylan Moran.
Okay. Bit of backstory on Dylan Moran.
Started done quite a few tours. In fact, I think he's done quite a lot in the UK, some in Australia. Wrote and starred in Black Books alongside Bill Bailey, which was a brilliant British-based sitcom based on a bookshop.
Which is what a lot of people know him from.
People know him for that. If you haven't seen his stand-up, watch his stand-up.
He was also in Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
He was the Sean's girlfriend's mate, who also liked to. That's him. Sean ends up killing him. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. And
oh no, he gets dragged out by zombies from the Winchester.
If you've seen Black Books, the character Bernard is how he is on stage.
Yeah, he's just drunk and doesn't give a fuck.
He just doesn't care. He's just what?
Yeah. And I mentioned most people I've heard of him know him from Black Books.
Yeah.
And I think that just could be. I mean, yeah, his stand-up is very funny, but most of what he's known for is Black Books, and TV shows as opposed to stand-up. I know you said Bill Bailey was in Black Books as well, but he's more known for being a stand-up comedian with a couple of bit parts. Is it when Bill Bailey's in something, you go, oh, that's Bill Bailey.
Yeah.
When like in Hot Fuzz, and even Black Books. Oh, Bill Bailey, I didn't expect to see him.
I think I'm one of the rare people who saw his stand-up before I saw Black Books. Because I got the Black Books link while watching Dylan Moran stand-up on YouTube, and that's how I discovered Black Books.
Right. Fair enough. So there's a contender with Dylan Moran. These again aren't in particular order. One of mine is Frankie Boyle, of course, very crude Scottish comedian, basically Billy Connolly for the 21st century. If Billy Connolly had the guts to say cunt, that's the kind of guy we're looking at. Like I say, Scottish born. He's probably more known for being a regular on Mock the Week.
Yeah.
Which is of course a comedy show, and he's got Live at the Apollo and his own solo tours.
Yeah. Or as it's also known, his part in Mock the Week, Scenes That Won't Be Broadcast.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. I hope you had fun in the studio because that's never fucking getting in. Yeah. They're very, very blue. Wasn't afraid of backing down. Had basically an ongoing feud with Kerry Katona by his own volition, because he just every week would be some reason to rip into her.
Yeah. Which you can't blame him.
No. And have you seen her recently? Why is she still famous? Why is she still relevant?
Yeah.
I don't know. But
you're asking that when they put someone who was on a show about someone on benefits into the Big Brother house now, calling them a celebrity.
Yeah. Oh Christ.
But we're getting off topic.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's the kind of thing that Frankie Boyle would rant about. Like Jordan, and Frankie Boyle is notorious for getting in the papers for bad-mouthing celebrities. He made a joke about Harvey, Katie Price's kid, and Katie Price, did she sue him? Did John sue him or threaten to sue him? There was some threat of legal action, and eventually she backed down because the defence of basically it's a fucking joke.
Yeah.
It's humour, and it's parody. I don't know if parody or satire or whatever, but it was fair game. You're a public figure.
Yeah.
It's no different to saying something about Tony Blair, George Bush, or anyone like that. You're a public figure, and you're a public figure. There are two of them, but you're a public figure by taking your clothes off in the newspaper. You have no defence if someone was to make jokes at your expense.
Yeah.
But that's
it. Well, on the flip side, the reason I like Frankie Boyle, the reason I didn't include Frankie Boyle is it is the celebrity ribbing humour. It is one type most of the time.
There is a lot of that to it. Yeah, I'll admit there is that. I mean, he does do the everyday stuff like most comedians do, but there is a lot of, maybe not celebrity, but definitely pop culture.
Yeah.
Where he won't talk about celebrity, he'll talk about a certain phenomenon like Big Brother.
Yeah.
Or like music, like hip hop music or something. I don't think he's actually saying anything about hip hop. He's just saying an example. So that's my first nomination to fill the 8, 9, and 10.
Yeah. My second one is Jack D.
Mm.
Very dry. Started out present. He was the original presenter of Live at the Apollo.
Yeah, it was Jack D live at the Apollo, and he'd been on a couple of guests.
Yeah, so done his own stand-up, done a couple of TV shows.
Yeah, Lead Balloon.
Yeah. Just very dry, very deadpan.
Yeah, that whole deadpan thing came about by accident. Because originally, when we first started getting into comedy, do you know this story? You probably do. When we were first getting into comedy, he was just, you know, on stage, like your standard comic, you know, he wouldn't mind smiling and having a laugh with the audience. But one day, he was just pissed off. His career wasn't going anywhere. He was just pissed off to all fuck. And he's basically, if I don't get anywhere by, it was like something like September, if I don't get anywhere by the end of this year, I'm saying fuck this comedy like. It was sort of something to that line. He was on the verge of giving it up. He just couldn't be asked anymore. This place is a toilet where I'm booked to perform. There's not many people there. Fuck it. And he just went completely miserable on stage. The same material he'd already been using, but because he was miserable doing it, it got more of a laugh. And he tried it again somewhere else, and it getting laughs. The miserable persona was getting over, so he kept it. Yeah, and that's basically there was a success to that one miserable night where he'd about given up on comedy.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, so that's where it's not so much deadpan. Deadpan's like Bill Murray. This is miserable comic. This is like almost like Steve Wright, you know, the American comic, but he's very dry and not so much. He's more drained of emotion as opposed to
angry at everything.
Angry and miserable, yeah. But so yeah, that's anything you want to ask. I kind of just zoomed in there and took that one.
It's the fact that the guy could talk about getting a new pet and being happy about it, but you'll be pissing yourself because he'll be stood there as if he's about to strangle the fuck.
Yeah.
It's not to the extreme of like a Lee Evans or anything like that, but it's the facials.
It's basically like Lee Evans is the very manic, hyperkinetic. Jack D's the other side of the spectrum.
Yeah, he's polar opposite, but it works.
Yeah, I'd like to see them do a double act, that'd be great.
Yeah.
So that's Jack D. Next on my list, I had Ricky Gervais. No, I didn't, but I may as well say it now because I've said it, so yeah, Ricky Gervais. And you made the point to me, maybe people...
Exactly. The point I'd make about Ricky Gervais is exactly the same point you made about Dylan Moran. It's not the first thing people know him for.
Yes and no. See, a lot of these movie roles and TV roles, you know, things like Derek, a lot of people look at them like they're a vanity project. It's this stand-up comedian trying to get into acting. Like his movies, you know, like the mention of Lying and Ghost Town, didn't do too well at the box office. I mean, they did respectable numbers, but they weren't a big draw because there's this guy who isn't known for being an actor. He's known for his comedy and the podcast, the Ricky Gervais Show podcast, because he started as a radio host. And when he got a bit of fame behind him, went back to doing the podcast with Carl Pilkington and Stephen Merchant. And that really boosted him up in beating people's things. So I can understand he's not... People don't necessarily think of the movies, but they might not necessarily think of the comedy. They think of the podcast and the Ricky Gervais Show that came from it.
Yeah.
However, I will say this, and I forgot to mention this about Frankie Boyle as well. His comedy is far-reaching enough. It was included in video games. In Ricky Gervais' case, GTA 4, and in Frankie Boyle's case, GTA 5. You watch TV in GTA, and you know it's little 5-10 minute programs, as it were, and they just keep going and going and going. And there's a Ricky Gervais routine on in GTA 4, and he's talk about it's the routine from Animals, I believe it is, where he's on about the Falklands War, and that was like the range war, and it was the equivalent of holding a midget at arms length and kicking him in the knackers while all his punches misses because they can only shoot 9 miles and we can shoot 15. Yeah, and Frankie Boyle was in GTA 5. I can't remember. I haven't played GTA 5. I saw a little clip of it. It was one of these things like someone of the audience has heckled him, and he did one of Frankie Boyle's classic. That's another thing Frankie Boyle's known for, being ruthless to the audience, whether they're heckling or not. But I've covered Frankie Boyle already.
Yeah.
So yeah, far-reaching enough to be included in a video game.
Yeah. The other point I make about Ricky Gervais is like, you know, the like you say about with Carl Pilkington and Stephen Merchant. To me, Carl Pilkington's the funny one. He may, I mean, they say idiot abroad and everything like that. The guy's a fucking genius because he just observes. It's very similar to Dave Gorman. Just observes things and it's funny as.
He observes things in a kind of slightly tilted way to the rest of to most of the world.
Yeah. Looks at things backwards, but I can look at things backwards.
Oh yeah, but also he makes good points, but he can't phrase them very well. I mean, and on the Ricky Gervais show and the podcast, Ricky a lot of times plays it up for comedic effect, where he can't. Come on, Ricky, you know what the point Carl's trying to get across, but he harps on the way he phrased it for comedic effect to try and see if Carl can explain it himself, and he'll end up making it worse. And Ricky knows he's going to make it worse.
Yeah.
So you can either have, well, that's not quite right, but I know what you're trying to say, and then that'd be it. Or you can, hang on, what are you talking about? Say that again. What are you talking? And I can get another 5 minutes of content out of it, and it's not just repeating it. It's Carl trying to explain it. You know, so he has got a comedic mind, but I agree with his humour or
the one out of the three, I think. I mean, you know my opinion. You know, put it this way, it's an opinion not going to change because the guy just annoys me. And when someone annoys me, you don't change my opinion that quick.
Doug Walker, Noah Fielding, and of course
Stephen Merchant.
Yeah, you think he's the hanger-on, which is weird because Carl Pilkington out of the three is the hanger-on, and he's the one that you like. But
well, put it this way, I never got into The Office.
The Office are extras now.
No.
Exactly. But we're talking about Ricky Gervais.
Yeah.
Your third choice.
Lee Mack.
Lee Mack, yeah. Same argument. I'm gonna say for Dylan Moran, and you said for Ricky. People may not know him more for his comedy. I was first introduced to Lee Mack through the Not Going Out TV show.
Yeah.
I didn't know who he was. It was just a TV show that was on one night. And then, you know, a year or so later, I saw he had a DVD out at Christmas. Every comedian's got a DVD out at Christmas.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, right, he's doing stand-up. No, he was doing the stand-up before Not Going Out. That's how he got the Not Going Out gig.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same with a lot of people. I mean, he's done Live at the Apollo, he's done QI.
Yeah.
You know.
And again, it's that different look at things. He can take the simplest everyday thing and make it stupidly funny.
Yeah.
You know, he can either make you cry with laughter, or if you get stuck into that kind of thing, he can frustrate the bollocks off you.
Yeah.
And put it this way, all good comedians should be able to do that.
Yeah. They kind of, you'd like to go for a pint with them, but you wouldn't want them around your house because they'll annoy the piss out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so Lee Mack, he is, like I say, he's a very funny comedian, but I think it's the same argument for Dylan Moran and Ricky Gervais. I think more people know him more for his TV than his stand-up. The last one I had on my list was Jasper Carrot.
Which
it was a last minute.
I've got to say, why the feck didn't I think of that one?
Yeah, because you kind of, I mean, I've known Jasper Carrot for years. I've known nothing actually, I don't know him. But you proper got me. I saw bits and bobs, you know, like bits of canned carrot and the trial of Jasper Carrot.
Until I showed you Jasper Carrot unrecorded.
You knew more of his material. Like, I'd seen it, laughed at it, forgot about it, and you remembered it and talked about it, and just appreciating. I'm kind of older now than I was then, and appreciating it from a different level, and going back and re-watching the same things I watched, 20 years ago. But now I've got more appreciation for comedy, and some of the stuff he's talking about, because he's not blue or crude. He's pretty family friendly, Jasper Carrot.
Yeah.
But I had no frame of reference for what he was talking about on a lot of things because I'm 8 years old, 10 years old. Yeah. So.
And then of course,
it was his career went so long. He doesn't do stand up now. I don't think he does anyway. Last I saw him, he was doing that Golden Balls TV game show on ITV. But it was like a 30-year comedy career, 25 years definitely.
Yeah. The bit I liked Jasper Carrot's routines though was the really quick bits like Biffa.
Yeah.
What about the dog? and he'll ramble and ramble and ramble and ramble and ramble, and it just seemingly without taking a breath for ages.
Yeah.
And then end it with one very, very simple line. The punchline's always very like you know what I'm saying about the aristocrats on the Nardcast.
Same thing, yeah.
He can do that sort of thing. Massive build to a very simple punchline, and you can't help but roll around laughing.
Yeah. It's aristocratic. You're right. In some of the ways he tells.
For example, now I'm looking for a 12 ball with a muffler.
Yeah.
That's the punchline of the joke. But everybody remembers blow it bloody head off and jumping around the stage going ba boom, ba boom, ba boom.
Or spinning like a fucking lighthouse.
Yeah. No one remembers the punchline. They always remember the build.
Yeah.
He's one of those who can make a 30-second joke last half an hour. That's the art of Jasper Carrott.
Yeah. There's the punchline, big rant, and I think he's mental.
Yeah.
Yeah. The art of the rant humour.
Yeah. And then, of course, there's the other one. He's slipping in a subtle one for a quick... You can do that, but you can also slip in a subtle one for a quick laugh. Like, everything died on the A42. Dogs, cats, goldfish.
Yeah.
Throw one that's completely doesn't work. Where he
came out of nowhere.
He just comes out of nowhere and you just go.
What? What?
Because I know I do that sometimes to you.
Yeah, exactly. What was the other one? When out with the mother-in-law. And I'm not going to do the typical mother-in-law jokes. I love my mother-in-law. Just bought her a house in Iran.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just shit like that.
Yeah. I think we can both agree here. Jasper Carrott's going in.
I think, on what has been said, I think take Frankie Boyle out of the running. So how many spaces have we got to fill?
2.
The 2 spaces are to fill. We've got 4 to choose from. I think it's going to be Ricky Gervais and Lee Mack.
Yeah. There we go, sorted. So honourable mentions to Jack Dee and Dylan Moran.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Frankie, obviously, because he made my original list.
Yeah.
Honourable, I want to say as well, David Baddiel. He was on there before I thought of Jasper Carrott, and then got ousted. Because I always prefer David Baddiel to Frank Skinner.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they are more well known for a double act as far as comedy goes, and Frank Skinner now just like the talk showy type thing.
Other ones that I reckon honourable mentions, ones that popped in my head but didn't make the list. Russell Howard.
Yeah, I went through the entire Mock of the Week roster.
Yeah. And as I say, Russell Howard, Andy Parsons.
Yeah. Adam Hill's crossed my mind. I thought, no, hang on, he's Australian.
Yeah. And the other 2 that crossed my mind, one that not my cup of tea but has a big following, Kevin Bridges.
Yeah. Yeah, I like him. Oh, I just thought of someone, bollocks.
And of course from Liverpool.
Oh, John Bishop.
John Bishop.
I just thought of someone else.
Go on.
Rod Gilbert.
And Rod Gilbert.
Fucking Welsh.
Yeah.
Oh, can I swap him for somebody? Oh, can't we've agreed on the top 10 now?
The only way you can do it is swap someone out the top 10.
Yeah, but the other ones we've all agreed on. We have to debate.
I'm agreeing with your Rod Gilbert though.
Alright, I think swap him for Ross Noble?
Noble? Yeah, I'd agree with that actually.
I was going to say Ed Byrne, but because I thought we've got Ed and Dara in there, but the different styles. Ed's more whimsy.
Yeah.
Ross Noble swap for Rod Gilbert. Sorry, Ross, very honourable mention.
Yeah,
you're right.
You're 11, damn it!
Oh. And the reason he popped into my head, because I was watching something from Nerd Cubed, you know, one of those other Let's Play things.
Yeah.
Playing Inikune, this Japanese role-playing game. And Rod Gilbert is a voice in it. Think of basically like... You know in Pokemon, Ash is always running around with Pikachu by his side.
Yeah.
Think if Rod Gilbert was the voice of Pikachu.
Right. So he only says one word.
No, it's proper Rod Gilbert. Well, you are supposed to be the saviour of all mankind, so you are. Oh, come on, boyo, we've got to go to get this magic book. And when they put the subtitles at the bottom, And not for translation, just to read. People
Right.
are reading JRPGs.
So-
but they spell it Welsh. So instead of your, like Y-O-U-R, it'd be Ewer.
Yeah.
Y-O-U-E-R. So get your bloody shoes on. You know,
Right.
that's that kind of thing. So yeah, Rod Gill.
What I'd say is, rather than doing the typical top 10 thing of putting them all in order, what we do is we do no particular order and then pick a top 3.
Alright, so...
Because I reckon that'd be easier to agree on, otherwise we're going to be here for about 4.5 days.
Yeah.
So, the top 10 are...
And we need to figure out who the top 3 are, otherwise we could...
No, we'll just read out the full top 10, then we'll pick the top 3 from them.
Okay.
So, top 10 are Ricky Gervais, Lee Mack, Jasper Carrot, Lee Evans, Bill Bailey, Rod Gilbert, Dave Gorman, Billy Connolly, Darrell O'Brien, Ned Byrne.
Yeah. Okay.
I've got my top 3.
I think I do as well. Just out of sheer span of the career. And
No, we'll go from 3, I think, because I think you're thinking the same thing I am.
I'm not putting him in the order, I'm just thinking what has to be in the top 3. And he has to be in because of the sheer scope of his career and
Well, I've got
fan base
him in
and
order,
everything.
is what I was thinking.
Billy Connolly's in my top 3.
Yes, he's in mine as well. Right, my next entry in the top 3, just because of the sheer following he has, is Lee Evans.
Out of what we've got, yeah, I can agree with that, yeah. Yeah, I was going up and down the list, yeah, Lee Evans.
So we've done length, we've done
Scores.
scope, like as in like the amount of fans he's got, like selling out Wembley, which I think there's one other on that list who's managed to do it. And I think the other thing we go for is outside the box.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few. I mean, you've got Rod Gilbert's quite outside the box, as was Ross Noble before we knocked him off the list. I mean, Dave Gorman's fairly outside the box.
Yeah.
But there's one glaring name.
Yeah. And
And
put it this way, we're going to say 1, 2, 3, Bill Bailey. There we go, that's the top 3. Coincidentally, the other one that has sold out Wembley.
Yeah. That's on this list anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your top 3 are Bill Bailey, Lee Evans and Billy Connolly. I think I'd put them in that order. 3 to 1. Billy Connolly.
Bill Bailey, Lee Evans, Billy Connolly.
Yeah.
I'm good with that because Bill Bailey's not everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah.
Lee
Bill-
Evans is more of a general appeal.
Yeah, so there you go. It's Bill Bailey at 3
It's Lee Evans at 2,
and Billy Connolly at 1.
and then lunch at 12. Sorry, bad joke. That's why I'm not a stand-up comedian and these guys are. So, do you...
I mean, Corny just throws everything in the sentences. Cabbages.
Yeah. Do you agree with our list? Did we miss off anyone glaring? Like you said, we just thought last minute of Rod Gilbert. You know, I'd have been kicking myself. We'd have stopped recording, and I'd just went, oh my god.
Yeah.
So let us know in the comments. Tell us what you think. Give us your own top 10 list. We'd love to hear what your opinions are. So you can, like I said, leave us comments below or email staff@r-square.co.uk. You can get us on Twitter @Smurfenstein, @AAR_TQ, and @R_squared studio. That enough plug-in?
That's quite a lot of guff. Might have to write all that down there because even I don't remember what you said first.
I'll do a scrolling credit, it'd be right.
Right.
Alright, toodles.